You know, given the history of my dad with the WBC World Title, I'll be in Thailand for the WBC convention and seeing if we can make that Barrios fight next immediately.
Conor Benn has revealed a jacked and powerful new physique for his upcoming rematch against Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn confirmed that his training approach for the rematch remains the same, staying focused on his aggressive style and power. He's confident he can knock out Chris Eubank Jr., specifically aiming to land a decisive right hand to the chin. Benn emphasized that his goal is not just to win, but to deliver an electrifying fight that fans will remember for decades. He firmly stated he'd rather lose an explosive battle than win a boring one.
Of course, I'm going to still go in there and try and iron him out. Do you mean? I'm going to still look for that right hand on his chin. Straight on his, a bit of that. Yeah, no, it don't make no difference to me. I'm still going to go in there and do what I do. Everybody knows what they're in for when they tune in to watch one of my fights. You know, and it's sheer excitement all the way through from start to finish. You know, you got to remember the fights that I want to give people. I want people to remember how I made them feel 20 years later. You know, and giving people value for money. That's entertainment. I think a lot of fighters forget that. I'd rather lose an exciting fight than win a boring fight. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'm just going to go in there and put it straight on.
With 5 to 6 years left in his career, Benn stated that he is focused on delivering exciting matchups while he's still in the sport. He promised that a fight between him and Eubank would always be a memorable event. Benn emphasized that they battle for family pride, fighting with their hearts and every ounce of blood they have. He declared that his rivalry will always be a fiery, unforgettable spectacle for the fans.
I've got 5, 6 years left in the game, I reckon, and we'll see. Listen, there's loads of fights out there for me. My job is for as long as I am here, which ain't for a long time, but I'm here for a good time. And if the public, you know, want entertainment, you know whose fights to tune into.
And the prediction, it's going to be another memorable night?
That's for sure, no doubt. I mean, for as long as you've got Eubank and a Benn mixing it, you know, it's always going to be memorable. You know, we fight for family pride, we fight with our hearts, we fight with every ounce of blood we have in us. We're born fighters.
Benn reflected on his first fight and said that it was driven by dislike and a brutal mindset. His explicit goal was to hospitalize his opponent. Now, ahead of the rematch, Benn said he's matured both mentally and emotionally. His focus is no longer on hurting his opponent, but on executing his game plan with precision. For him, this fight is about professionalism, discipline, and securing a decisive victory.
It's way less personal.
Yeah.
You know, first time around there was a lot of needle. There was a lot of dislike. Not really. Yeah, the intentions were completely different going around the first fight. For me, it was putting him in hospital, and you know, that's what I'd done, and that was my sort of mindset then. Say it's barbaric, say whatever you want. Ultimately, you know, it's a fight game, and that was my intentions then. You know, whereas now it's a matter of just going in there and securing a W.
After securing a win against Chris Eubank in their upcoming bout, Benn will set his sights on a world title. Conor Benn showed a clear path to his journey. He stated his top priority is to fight for the WBC world title. He believed Mauricio Sulaiman would support this fight due to his family's historic connection with the WBC belt. Benn planned to attend the WBC convention in Thailand to push for a bout against Barrios next. He confirmed communications are ongoing with Barrios and his team about the fight. Benn stated this welterweight contest is highly likely to be his next match.
Back down to welterweight.
I want to put the WBC World Title next. For me, that's the priority. You know, I know Mauricio Sulaiman will bless that fight. You know, given the history of my dad with the WBC World Title, I'll be in Thailand for the WBC convention and seeing if we can make that Barrios fight next immediately. Providing Barrios wants to fight, which we've had communication with him and his team, and that's the fight that you know, highly likely will happen next for me.
On the other side, Benn reflected on his first fight, saying it was driven by family pride and a pure heart. He explained that both he and Chris Eubank Jr. fought with everything they had, leaving nothing behind in the ring. Benn expressed genuine respect for Eubank, acknowledging the toughness and spirit he showed throughout the fight. Watching the final round, Benn said he was proud of how they both fought for legacy, not just victory. He ended by tipping his hat to Eubank, calling it a true battle between warriors.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, family pride, I mean, we're fighting there on fumes. You know, we fought with our hearts out, and we fought with our heart on our sleeves, both of us. So you sit there and you go, I look at him and how can he not have more respect for putting the fight that he did. Yeah, I watch that and I'm proud of it. I mean, I look at it and I go, well done, Chris. You know, we fought with our hearts on our sleeves, man, and you know, that's what the public pay for. You weren't there to make up the numbers. You weren't there to pit a power around. We fought with our hearts. We fought our hearts out of the night. I take my hat off to him. Takes two to Sango, man.
Similarly, Chris Eubank Jr. felt disappointed despite his previous victory over Conor Benn. His true intention was to ensure his opponent never reached the final bell and to remove any doubt about who the superior fighter was. He now strongly dismisses Benn's post-fight claims of having hurt him as being completely untrue. For the upcoming rematch, Eubank is entirely focused on one goal: to deliver a performance that is so conclusive it erases all past narratives and leaves no room for debate.
There was disappointment in that victory. I wanted to make sure that he didn't see the 12th round. I wanted to make sure that there was no question who the better fighter was, and the fact that, you know, Conor Benn can come out away from that fight saying that he hurt me and that, you know, I was a one shot away from finishing the fight. You know, that's all lies. But I want it to be conclusive this time around.
From the prediction standpoint, Hamza Shiraz has confidently predicted that Conor Benn will win the fight, specifically forecasting a victory inside 6 rounds. He believed the move in weight would significantly impact Chris Eubank Jr., referencing how it has negatively affected him in previous bouts. Shiraz acknowledged that their first encounter was a difficult and hard-fought battle. However, he stands by his clear prediction, reiterating that Benn will secure the win within the first 6 rounds of the match.
What's your prediction, Ben or Eubank?
I've got Conor Benn to win inside 6 rounds. I feel like the weight will affect Eubank too much on how it affected him before as well. And it was a hard fight. It wasn't an easy fight. Yeah, Conor Benn to win inside about 6 rounds.
According to Johnny Nelson, he believed Chris Eubank Jr. has shown all he can and has little room left to improve, especially after the first fight and the weight issues. He thought Conor Benn would come back stronger and better prepared for the rematch. Nelson feels that Benn's resilience in the first fight proved he could handle everything Eubank threw at him. With Benn improving and Eubank having limited upside, Nelson is confident Benn can get the win in the second fight.
I think it's going to be revenge. I'm flipping. I think both fighters put on an amazing performance. I think both fighters were spot on. I think both fighters should be really proud of themselves. I think Chris Jr., he rinsed himself out when there was nothing left to give. Whereas I think I looked at Conor, I thought, you've got something left to give. And so if he makes the adjustments and if the conditions are exactly the same as they were for the contractual conditions are exactly the same as they were in the first place, I'm going Conor.
Similarly, actor Tamer Hassan also backed Conor Benn to win the rematch, believing the first fight was always an uphill struggle for Benn due to the weight difference. He gave credit to Chris Eubank, acknowledging that his vast experience in big fights and on major stages was the deciding factor in their first encounter. However, Hassan strongly emphasized that he does not believe Eubank's boxing ability itself was superior. He stated that he found Benn's performance in the first fight to be truly outstanding, which fuels his belief that Benn can secure the victory this time.
I think Ben's gonna win this one. I really do. I think with Ben, it was always an uphill struggle because of his weight, and you know, I think Chris he's got experience on them big fights and big stages, and I think his experience beat him. I don't think his boxing ability beat him, because I thought Ben was outstanding.
Move towards Peter Fury, who believed Conor Benn has grown since the first fight and will be more dangerous in the rematch. He noted that Chris Eubank Jr. looked drained making weight the first time, which clearly affected his performance. Fury is surprised Eubank has agreed to fight again under the same conditions. For that reason, he views the rematch as a genuine 50-50 contest.
Ben can do more, and he's going to learn from it, the first one. So, and Eubank looked drained at that weight. I'm surprised he's gone in again for the same weight, same rules, because you could see he looked like he was struggling to get to that weight, and it showed in there at times. So I think it's a 50-50. You know, Ben's in with a better chance this time.
Ant Middleton also shared his thoughts on the upcoming rematch between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., admitting it's tough to predict. From a pure boxing perspective, he slightly favors Eubank, but he also expressed that he's a fan of Benn. Middleton explained that their previous fight makes predicting the next one difficult, as both fighters have shown they can adapt and improve. He emphasized that the dynamics outside the ring, including mental preparation and adjustments, could influence the outcome. Overall, Middleton sees the rematch as highly competitive and unpredictable, with either fighter capable of taking the win.
I had Eubank, you know, as in from a standpoint of boxing purely, you know, I'm a Benn fan, and I just thought, you know what, call it as it is. But I literally can't call the next one, and I think with the loss that Benn took, but the win when he stepped outside the ring, it could be the opposite with Benn and Eubank too.
Timothy Bradley did not hold back and firmly believed Conor Benn could knock out Chris Eubank in a rematch, but he must correct key tactical errors. He advises Benn to use fundamental boxing 101 by exiting to the sides instead of stepping back in straight lines to neutralize Eubank's reach. Bradley also noted that Benn became too reckless early on, wasting energy with wild swings instead of controlling his emotions. He stressed that by being more reserved and disciplined, Benn would have conserved the energy needed to finish the fight stronger in the later rounds.
Conor Benn can knock him out in the rematch. Oh yeah. Couple things he gotta do though. You know, boxing 101, man, when you're fighting a taller guy, you never want to step back in straight lines. You want to exit the sides. He stepped back in straight lines. He allowed Eubank to extend with those long arms, so he's getting caught on the end of his shots a lot of the times. Another thing, early on, got too reckless. You got to be more reserved, my man. Act like you've been there before. You got to control those emotions. All right? A lot of swinging, a lot of wild swinging, a lot of energy wasted early that you could have had on the back end, and you could have finished stronger.
In the training footage, Conor Benn is seen sparring in the ring, wearing safety headgear while unleashing relentless power punches on his partner. He fires heavy body shots, sharp jabs, and non-stop combinations without taking a moment to rest. The intensity of his attack makes it look less like sparring and more like he's hammering a heavy bag, every punch thrown with full force and aggression, showing Benn's ruthless focus and readiness for war. In another training clip, Conor Benn is seen unleashing powerful, rapid punches on the heavy bag with sharp precision and explosive speed. His combinations flow with intensity, showing how much his power and timing have improved. The focus and aggression in his training make it clear he's sharpening his skills and preparing to seriously hurt and potentially knock out Chris Eubank Jr. in their upcoming clash. Sparring clip ahead of his rematch with Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn faced heavyweight Daniel Dubois in a lighthearted drill. He moved toward Dubois, playfully pretending to spar, and the two laughed and lightly pushed each other with their shoulders. Even in this casual sparring, Benn's jacked new physique and impressive strength are on full display, showing how well prepared he is for the Eubank rematch.
Yeah, ready.
On the other side, Chris Eubank Jr. has also begun his training camp for the rematch against Conor Benn. He's seen working intensely on the heavy bag, combining power with strategy and precision. Eubank is focusing on using his boxing IQ to set up effective punches, working methodically to sharpen both his timing and technique for the upcoming fight. The stage is set for November 15th, when Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. will finally face each other. Benn's transformed physique signals his powerful evolution as a fighter, while Eubank's refined strategy shows his determination to leave no doubt about victory. The boxing world remains deeply divided. Will Benn's raw power and aggressive style overwhelm his opponent, or will Eubank's experience and technical precision control the fight? This rematch is about more than just victory. It's about securing their legacy in boxing history. Who do you think will emerge victorious? Share your prediction in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for complete fight week coverage and exclusive behind the scenes content. The countdown to this epic showdown has officially begun. It's a fight you won't want to miss.